Bunyog, bunyog, halikan na kasama ka. Bunyog, kapag buklod ay may pag-asa.
Thank you for that, Dr. Werlito. And lastly, we call on the National PTA Association, represented by Mr. Wilfredo Rodriguez.
Hello, good afternoon. Reg Sevilla Sibal po, representing NPTA in behalf of Sir Willie. The NPTA has always been vocal about their recommendation ever since last year on two things. One is on the move back to the June calendar due to a number of factors, and the other is, for the longest time, we have always appealed, even if I go back to our position papers, regarding the suspension protocols, in particular to weather conditions, not just on suspension of typhoons, but also due to the heat. But cognizant of this decision of the DENPTA, sa kasalukuyan, nasa klase pa rin po yung mga bata. So sana po, panananawagan pa rin kami na hindi na natin magagawa ng paraan kasi ongoing ang school year. So in addition to the alternative delivery modes, we also hope that there would be further action or support, not just from the DepEd, but from the other agencies of government. Number one, to provide sufficient water. We know that during the summer period, there is a lack of water supply in certain areas. So that will factor in the risk of our students to gain heat stroke kasi yung kanilang pag-inom, the availability of the water that they can drink. We thank the Department of Education because they monitor this through their WINS program, the monitoring. And from that, we also know that there are areas that do not have sufficient water for the students to drink at source. The other is also the concern that we have during this summer period. Then DOH mentioned the heat stroke, the heat exhaustion, but it's also a consideration that in the summer periods and extreme heat, our kids are more likely to get sick. Diba yung mga may hika po? Ako personally, I'm getting sick because of the weather. And also some students and our learners have also that risk because food also spoils so much in the heat. Mas malaki po yung tendency nila for them to spoil. The other consideration, because these are health considerations, is that we know that not all school clinics have a school health personnel. So in the event that there is a school emergency due to the heat, not all schools have the equal capability of having a school personnel that will be able to monitor the symptoms, that will be able to help also refer the particular students. It's only usually the central elementary and the central high schools who have as assigned, and we're talking about the public schools, I'm sorry, who have these particular school health personnel that will be able to monitor and assess these students just in case these incidents happen. As a former teacher, former school principal, and parent of kids in the basic ed, I recognize that learning together with other educators is not optimal when the kids are uncomfortable, whether it is extreme heat or extreme cold. It is not also the optimal condition for our teachers to teach because sino po ba ang natututo ng maayos kung mainit po yung panahon? This is also one of the reasons why we are not really keen on retaining the school year or rather school days within the summer period. And it is also not appreciated, the break of the teachers is not also appreciated if the summer has already lapsed as well. But as we look at the nuances of our weather and the disaster in the Philippines, we all continue to advocate and thank the Senate and the other agencies for this data-driven approach in considering climate and other considerations, not just extreme heat, but perhaps other disasters, both the man-made and natural, to be continued to be monitored continually and consider policies that need to be on the table, especially of providing intervention for their learners. We are also one with the teachers and the principals here who have called, or rather who recognize that there might be a need to transition either using an aggressive way or reducing the number of school years. But In this, we also reiterate na sana hindi po makompromise yung learning ng ating students. As we deal with aggressive strategies to move the calendar, can we also be more aggressive in providing the necessary resources? Because as we now are transitioning to a new curriculum, the learning resources, the books, the modules, the learning resource materials of the students enough to be more to cater to this aggressive approach? Lalo na po, the students are not learning in the schools. Would they be also given the necessary learning resources to use at their particular homes? With that is also the recognition that not all the houses of their students are very much adequate for learning at home. One condition would be hindi po enough, so yung kanilang mga gamit sa bahay. So we also appeal to consider reaching out to the LGUs to make the libraries in the municipalities available and the schools still open for the students who will not hindi best or optimal na learning situation po yung kanilang sa bahay, that it can still continue to open. And also to consider din po the other provisions, particularly the other programs that DepEd is offering to our students should still be continued. Like, for example, yung the school feeding program and the other things that help address the other needs of the learner should continue to be provided regardless of when the school starts to open. So again po, we reiterate the support of the NPTA to revert back to the June calendar. Of course, realizing that there might be that there's already a support from the different agencies of government, but we always hope that any policy or anything should not compromise the learning, the health, safety, and again, also the learning competencies that are taught in the classroom and the necessary resources, because it's not only the calendar that is impacted, but also the learners and the capability of our teachers to absorb these necessary changes. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you for that. And I think it's quite unanimous that everyone wants to go back to the old calendar. And I thank DepEd and TDC for formulating an aggressive approach, which I personally support. And hopefully, the President will see merit in that proposal. I also commend DepEd and the principals, our school heads, for responding very quickly to avoid fatal effects of this extreme heat. And it's evidenced by the report of DOH that there's no fatalities that happened in our schools. Having said that, can you flash this? Yeah. So I based on the report of DepEd, of course, when a principal experiences extreme heat, immediately they go into ADMs. And based on the DepEd report, the most popular modality within ADM is the modular, which is the modules, and blended, which is modules and also going back to schools. Online is very small, no? 2.6%. That's also the same scenario during the pandemic. And we still have a long way to go to make internet available and affordable in all of our homes, no? Internet remains to be prohibitive to some of our constituents. And even though they have wireless connectivity, they don't have the gadgets to connect, no? So it's the modules and blended learning remains to be the most popular. However, I saw in a World Bank report, this is after the pandemic, they ran surveys to test, they ran surveys and asked parents and also the head of the family if ever the modules are effective or not, no? And there, no? So, and it and parents mentioned, of course, this is by age. The younger the age, parents think that the modules are not effective for young school-age children. No, I think DepEd will probably agree to this, because young school-age children are dependent learners or learners that need to be guided, and the modules are not as effective yet. For higher age children, they're effective. No, our parents. That's the view of our parents. So, in other words, if I put this together, even though we use ADMs as a modality, it's not as effective for young children. No, there's no substitute still for face-to-face learning. So this is just an interim response because of the extreme heat. But if we can now go back to the old calendar, then most likely we can avoid the use of ADM and have more face-to-face classes for our learners. So that's also another reason why we are pushing for the old calendar, is to increase the number of, not increase, but to maintain face-to-face learning as the default modality, no? And just use ADMs sparingly if really necessary. So, and another takeaway from this hearing is the request or the suggestion to PAG-ASA to go granular in terms of data, to go location specific. Right now, our principals are responding, but we still need to give them accurate information, no? Whether it's through simulation or through technology, but that information is important for them to respond. No? So we're suggesting to PAG-ASA to look at that suggestion. With that, I think we covered most of the items on the agenda. Any comments before we terminate the hearing? Any last comments from DepEd or from other stakeholders? Meron po? Kung wala naman, again, thank you. No, thank you to DepEd for responding to this very challenging times, and I thank, of course, TDC, our principals, our secondary school heads, of course, COCOPEA and the other stakeholders. I thank them for putting the interests of our learners ahead. No? At the end of the day, we're all here to make sure that our learners learn and their welfare is being protected. No? So I thank all of you for again, no, responding to this very challenging climate situation, and rest assured that this committee is looking for other solutions to make sure that our learners are being attended to, and all of their requirements are given to them. So once again, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for attending this committee hearing. This hearing is hereby adjourned. Thank you.
Bunyog, bunyog, halikan na kasama ka. Bunyog, kapag buklod ay may pag-asa. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, isa ang pananaw. Sa bagong Pilipinas ang bunyog isisigaw.